Okay, so we got, I'm gonna pull these off. We got a little bit of grease here, which isn't a big deal. Take some of the grease off here. Now remember, you're gonna go forward now since you're loosening the bearings. Like so. Now because we already greased the bearing cups, you shouldn't have to re-grease them. Okay. So we've taken out one of our spacers. And we're going to take out the other one. Loosen the bearing. Cup. Okay. Now we're going to pull this off. Slide this in. Then what we're going to do is before we actually put any torque on these, so not all spacers are needed for all mountain bikes, as we've just proven. That down as far as it'll go. That should be fine. We shouldn't need much more than that. And then we're going to take this side. Put that in all the way. And then we're going to put that on all the way. And if I was to zoom in here, you'd see that this was in all the way. So now I can thread this piece in. And we can set the bearings, and you could probably put one spacer in. Probably one spacer would work on the crank arm, or sorry, on the so you could probably probably set it that way. But you have no play in the bearings now. So we're just going to do this without the spacers. Even one spacer. Make it a little tighter. But if you were going to put a bearing, if you were going to put any spacers in, you want to put it on the actual cassette side. But I'm not going to actually do that. I'm not too worried about it. So we're just going to leave out the spacers for now. Okay. And then this piece here, because this is inset. They got a new tool for these guys. This one doesn't get it in all the way because it's too big for the way these cranks are, which is fine, not a big deal. Let's see here if I can find I used to have a very large no, I don't have anything that's going to fit. But you don't need to, this doesn't need to be torqued down super tight. Okay, so it's just a piece of plastic. Once you get it in there, press this piece here down. You want to make sure this pin here is down all the way. Of course, because if it's not going to actually hold the crank arm in place. Look at it. Go down all the way. Okay, 1 second here. So I'm going to take my mallet. Looks like we got a, not really an issue here, it's just the fact that the bearing isn't, it's not that it's not set, it's just the fact that we have this little piece here. It's actually going down into the notch hole that we have here. supposed to be there, so there's actually, we need one spacer. We do need one small spacer. So I'm going to pull this arm off. I'm going to flip the lever up, the locking lever. There we go. Just still pressing the bearings. So we're going to need one spacer, and this is where this doing the bearings for the bottom bracket can become a little tricky on this guy. So once again, we're going to pull off, lift up our locking piece here. Okay, now, some people would say go ahead and take this bearing off here and then slide the, just put the spacer in on this side. In some respects, it almost probably doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually remove this bearing cup from this side without removing the crank arm. Now normally I want to do it this way. I'm going to put in just one spacer. And there's that. I really hate to So what I'm really trying to do is, by the way, the spacer isn't going to push the crank arm over any farther. Some people will be like, well, if you have the spacer on the wrong side, this crank arm will be over farther or whatever. That's not how it works. They just happen to give you more threads on this other side. So if you want equal amount of threads, do it that way. Once again, we'll bring this over. Trying to see how we can actually do. Pressing the bearings on. So, as you can see now, this locking pin is down inside. The locking pin is all the way down. Just so you can lift it up, push it all the way down. Okay. So then we're going to take our pinch bolt. We've already screwed on our cap. We tighten down the pinch bolt one side at a time. Like so. Remember, we're going to have to torque the pinch bolts. Make them decently tight. Some people question, could you have put in one more, possibly one more spacer on the other side? Made it even. And there's a slight. Each frame is different. This is where frames get a little tricky. So they just get a little tricky. Now, the other thing you want to check is once you get these tightened, make sure this locking pin can't pop up. It's one of the last things you want to happen. So we're going to come over, we're going to grab our torque wrench. We're going to grab our Allen set for our torques. Here. Now, if you remember, it said 12 to 14 newton meters. So what we're going to do is, we got inch pounds over here. We'll look at 12 to 14. Here's 11.9, and there's 13. So I'm going to go in between the two. I'm going to go 13 newton meters. So we're at 13 newton meters. Grab our 5, which is right here. Got our click. Come over to the other side. Set that in there. Come around until we get our click. Right there. Bam. And your pinch bolts are done. So now your crank arms are on, along with the bottom bracket. And like I said, if you want to, you could probably put a spacer on each side. that's kind of up to you. Kind of up to you where you want the spacer. But that's how you're gonna do that right there. Okay.